Hey guys, it's Summer and today I'm going to be recommending a few short books to you guys. If you've been watching my channel for a minute, you probably know that I love short books just because you feel so accomplished after you finish it, and I feel like it helps me get some reading momentum when I'm kind of in a reading slump. I also just feel like short books can be written and done so well and just pack a really big punch and just be really enjoyable. And it's just so cool how authors can do that because they can condense a really great book into like a small amount of pages, and I think it's really cool, and it takes a really talented author to do that. So I wanted to share a few of those books with you guys today. As usual, you'll be hearing him in the background probably, so sorry. This first one is a book by one of my favorite authors, and it's called Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell. When I ordered this off of Book Depository, I think it was, they were selling them in a big pack of just all these small books. There were 50 copies of this. So I've been trying to just give these to everybody. I still have probably 20 in my room. It's kind of crazy. This follows two teenagers waiting in line for the new Star Wars movie to come out. I think this was back when Force Awakens was the newest Star Wars movie, so it was pretty cute. It wasn't like amazing or my new favorite Rainbow Rowell book or anything, but it was just a cute short story. It's literally like, oh my god, it says it's like 17 pages. It's super short. I don't think very many people were able to get their hands on this, but I think that she's going to be coming out with a bind up soon that includes this story and also her short story from My True Love Gave to Me, which I loved that short story. So I don't know when that's going to come out or if it's already out, but that's where you'll be able to read this. Maybe I'll also just start sending people the rest of the copies that I have of this book, because I literally have so many of them. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm defining short books as 300 pages or less. Because I feel like a 300 page book, like that's a pretty like average sized book, but I feel like a few of these went by so quickly, even though they were 300 pages, that I feel like they kind of fit into the short book category, so we're just gonna go with it. This next one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I think that's how you say his name. I watched an Oprah interview and I'm pretty sure I remember that's how they said his name. This book is 170 pages or 171, something like that. It's kind of a classic at this point. I feel like a lot of people have read this. I've always wanted to read this because I absolutely love the cover. This story is about a young man named Santiago who leaves his village to go seek out a treasure and find his personal legend, which is basically like your meaning in life. And it was just a really cute story of him interacting with lots of different people and learning lots of different life lessons. It goes by really quick and it's just like a really uplifting kind of read, and I think it'll just leave you feeling really happy. This next one is a series that I'm just going to be counting like as a whole for this like recommendation, and it's the Every Heart a Doorway series or the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire. I've been talking about these like nonstop basically since I read them because they're amazing and you need to go read them. I'm kind of like, I love the whole series, but this is my least favorite out of all of them, just because it's a lot more of like a chronological sequel than the rest of the books. The rest of the books are kind of like their own little story that takes place like in the same world, kind of like with characters that you're sort of familiar with. But that one is just like, it's a direct sequel of what happened in like one of the other books, like the first book. And I just like these, like the ones where it's just like a little snippet of someone's story. Like this is the most recent release and I loved this book so much. These are all fairly short. They're around like 170, 180 pages each, so they're really quick to get through, and the audiobooks are awesome. When I read these, they were all on Scribd, so I just kind of like listened to all of them back to back. It was honestly just like such a great experience. And I know everybody like always pushes these books, but it's for a reason. They're worth the hype. This next book was on my favorite books of 2018 list, and that's Sourdough by Robin Sloan. This book is 259 pages long, but it reads really quick, but not too fast. Like you're immersed in the story, and it just feels like it wraps up just how it should in this amount of pages. It's about this woman who lives in San Francisco working for some kind of tech company, I think, and she just kind of gets sick of her day-to-day routine, so she decides to start making sourdough as a hobby, and she gets really good at it, starts to become kind of known for it, and then she gets accepted to this, like a baker's market where they incorporate tech stuff into making their food, and then things just kind of go wrong from there. And it's just a crazy whimsical story that's so fun and weird, but just wonderful. Like I loved this book so much. I also listened to this one on Scribd. I think I also listened to The Alchemist on Scribd. So I think those are all books that might still be on there. I don't know for sure. This next one I know for sure is on Scribd as an ebook, so you can read it there, and that is The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. I read this one at the very beginning of my booktube channel, and It's just so good. I listened to the audiobook because Neil Gaiman narrates it himself, so I definitely recommend it that way, but the ebook would be great too. This is some kind of like UK special edition, so I think it might be a different length than the other one that's like from Target. This one is 235 pages, and it's about this man who's going back to his childhood home, and he kind of has these memories that come back to him about his childhood, about growing up friends with this girl named Letty and getting to know her family. I loved the writing in this book. I feel like Neil Gaiman is such a talented author. I just felt like the description in this book was so great and detailed where you could see everything really vividly, but it wasn't like overdone. Like he didn't over describe things to where you were like, okay, like we get it, we're done. I did a review for this book, like reasons why you should read this book at the beginning of my channel. I'll link it in the cards or something so you can go watch it if you want to. I really like how I talked about this book in that video. I feel like I got my thoughts out how I wanted to, so I'd recommend maybe going and watching that if you want to. These were the books though. I'm counting this as like 5 book recommendations even though there's a series in this. I'm just counting it as one. I'm hoping to do these in increments of 5 in the future and just kind of do some short book recommendations as I read them. But yeah, I think you should pick up all of these. They're super great and quick to get through. Well, let me know down below if you have any short book recommendations for me because I obviously love a short book, so I'd love to read more of them. And I'll just see you guys in my next video.